Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal. You may have received several notifications from AMC saying that they are increasing or decreasing the total expense ratio of either the regular plan or the direct plan of several mutual funds that they manage. Now, you may have noticed that this has increased in the last few years, and this is because SEBI mandated that every time they change the expense ratio, they must notify the investors, and only then it became clear to us, perhaps to SEBI themselves, how often these AMCs play around with the expense ratios. And I had already shown with data and with AUM data and expense ratio, one of the reasons why they do it. They especially in the direct plan, yeah. So they keep the expense ratio down. They invite the AUM to come in, and once the AUM has increased a certain amount, they jack up the expense ratio, and that gives them much higher profit. And recently, Birla AMC had issued a release saying that in six of their fund houses, mutual funds, excuse me, uh, six of their mutual funds, with effect from 18th February, the expense ratio would be increased in the direct plan. SR Srinivasan, a SEBI registered investment advisor, sent me a note that the ABSL regular savings fund, the expense ratio for the direct plan has increased from 0.83% to 1.23%. That's a 48% hike. And he also mentions that last year they have another fund called just a savings fund. That's a pure debt fund. This is a hybrid fund, but it's a conservative hybrid fund. So in the pure debt fund, they went from 0.2% to 0.6%, 0.2% to 0.6% increase. And then there was a lot of backlash on Twitter. Many people posted about it, and then they brought it from 0.6 to 0.22% again. So this is just atrocious, because a change in expense ratio should be treated as a fundamental attribute in the change in fundamental attribute of the mutual fund, and people should be allowed to exit the fund free of exit load. And SEBI should mandate the number of, or curb the number of times a fund house can change the expense ratio within a year, and they should also curb the quantum of the increase. They can't increase the expense ratio by almost 50% or more than that in just what I just said. Three times almost. So that just means for existing investors, the returns have gone down by that much. They've gone down by almost 0.5%, right? So that's a big change for a debt mutual fund. And I say for existing investors because if you look at the AUM and expense ratio for regular plan and direct plan for this fund, for this what is this regular savings fund. It was earlier called a monthly income plan. So you can see this is the total AUM shown, that's the blue line, and the red line is the expense ratio of the direct plan. You can see the huge changes up and down. They've done this several times. They keep doing this often, and you can see that there are changes every time there's a huge increase in AUM. They jack it up, get the profits, then they keep it lower so that they get more AUM, and then they jack it up, and so on. And this is for the regular plan. The regular plan does not have as much variations because there are commissions involved. They can't reduce the commissions and they won't get anything done. So what has happened in this case is that, in my opinion, and it's only speculation, we can't because SEBI doesn't ask the AMCs to explain why they are doing it. That would be nice. So you notice that in about mid of 2018, around July 2018, the AUM had peaked, and from there it has fallen down. And in the last 3 quarters of 2019, the AUM of both the regular plan and the direct plan has gone down by about 13-14% approximately. This data you can get only from AMFI, and AMFI only gives this data, that is a regular plan, direct plan backup, only once a quarter. And what has happened, in my opinion, is that by increasing this expense ratio for this fund by 48%, the AMC gets the same kind of profit today around this AUM level that they got at that AUM level. So they have been able to get back, so that they got the profits back. Even though the AUM has fallen so much down, by increasing the expense ratio, they have compensated for the loss in profit. And who suffers from it? The existing investors. Although the people who have exited, they won't suffer. The existing investors are suffering, and they will have to suffer lower returns. And the AMC may even be compensating this by taking on more credit risk. And if the bonds default, they will be subject to even more hassles. So this has to stop. SEBI has to intervene, and I don't even know if they're watching this video or they are aware of this development. It's simply not on. Investors should complain to the AMCs. They should complain on social media and publicly shame the AMCs. Otherwise, they just won't react. And they did it. They did reverse the 0.2 to 0.6%, probably because of the backlash, I assume. That's just the more you get to know about these mutual fund buggers, the more you lose. I mean, the more you become disillusioned. It's just there. It's not just Birla. Everybody, the other AMCs are also doing it. Everybody is at it. I don't want to single out any AMC here. Everybody is at it. Is SEBI should stop this. It's time for them to do. Fine. That's what I wanted to say. Bye bye.